What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today when we talked about T2, I want to go over some of the current data points, what shorts are doing as well, what might be coming down the pipeline in 9 trading days. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently it is down 4.34%, a new 52-week and all-time low created at $5.05. 144,000 shares being traded, 391 is the average. At the time of doing this video, no SEC filings, no press releases, nothing like that. So it is just merely following the broader market and a lot of fear. And shorts aren't really doing too much as well. So currently they are roughly returning about 5,000 shares. 10.46% of the free float is being shorted. 346.77 thousand shares are overall being shorted. And as well, cost to borrow average is about 134.71%. So relatively high. And just popping over to Interactive Brokers, it does indicate that there's roughly around 400 shares available to be shorted. So not too much ammunition, but I think shorts, that's part of their plan just to keep it around this price range, because of what I'm going to explain in a second. But while I'm on Interactive Brokers, just want to show you this. The latest Morningstar report does show the fair market value for T2 being $14.45. Take that with a grain of salt, given where we are at. If you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as upcoming analyst forecasts, ratings, whatever floats your boat, and also latest ownership of a company, take a look at Interactive Brokers, link in the description below, and also the comments for all of this to be completely free. But still, when it comes down to shorts, like I mentioned, they're not really doing too much. But that's part of their plan, because they do want to keep it roughly around this price range as what it has been. Because as it stands, and I've kind of alluded to this on previous updates, but 16.91 million is the current market cap for T2. So with that said though, there is this rule within the NASDAQ, Rule 5550B(2), that ultimately if a company is trading for 30 consecutive business days below a 35 mil market cap, they could be on the chopping block once again. And so of course they just did obviously a 1-for-100 reverse stock split, I believe, just to rectify the whole $1 bid price rule deficiency and many things like that, which yes, a reverse stock split helps that certain circumstance. But if you are below a market cap, and to rectify that, you either have to bring up the share price or buy back shares. And technically the company doesn't have sufficient amount of money to buy back any shares. So this is where it gets problematic. Today is essentially day number 21. So like I said, in 9 trading days, if they don't get over that 35 mil market cap for at least one day to break that trend, then this is where in essence they are on the chopping block once again. So this whole circumstance is not playing out for long investors, as crappy as that sounds. But technically, even based on the last earnings call, they did allude to just a lot of dilution, which they haven't really announced through any SEC filings yet. But dilution is coming down the pipeline within this quarter, and that's actually the whole reason why they did a very high reverse stock split, just to stay on the NASDAQ, because any company that gets booted down to OTC, liquidity and just capital raising is kind of a difficult scenario, unless you're leaning more towards toxic lenders or whatever else. But as it stands, 9 more trading days until they are on the chopping block and they get a kind of a notice from the NASDAQ. So not necessarily the best. And plus, I feel like market makers are anticipating that. This is why probably ever since the reverse stock split, no options have kicked off. And this is something I always like to analyze the data from, but obviously with no options activity, kind of weird. So like I've asked in the past, if you guys have any options prior to the whole reverse stock split, did your broker accommodate you? So did they make a new chain? Did they just pay you out? What was the kind of repercussions of all of that? But as it stands with the technicals though, and it being at $5.06, it is trading between this S2 and this S1. So $4.85 is that next strong support, and $5.18, which it did break below today, is now going to be that next strong resistance. So technicals are breaking down. Shorts, it's not really bullish or bearish, it's kind of just neutral information, obviously using that as a benchmark, but that's their plan. They do increase accordingly whenever there's a little bit more of a price momentum increase. But as it stands, their goal is to essentially get it knocked down to OTC. And if that does happen, then most likely it is fair to assume that T2 probably within 2 quarters will file bankruptcy based on how much they are burning through and whatever else. Although probably rather than a bankruptcy, they could be just a takeover opportunity for maybe one of the big pharma companies. You never know, because of course, if this revolutionary technology is very true and accurate, then easily, why not just buy it for 10 cents on the dollar, or as it stands, 1 cent on the dollar. Let me know your thoughts on T2. Give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with T2? And do you think that it is going to be once again on the chopping block with the NASDAQ in the foreseeable future? So probably around the tail end of November. Clearly is the day to watch for. So let me know your thoughts on all this. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. As well, take advantage of some free shares, and that is with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, plus you get 1 free share of 𝗖𝗢. So for $100, you get 6 stocks and any cash in this account. You're also earning 5.1% APY. One of the best promos on the market, only up until November the 20th. Take a look at that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.